I've been looking up on the internet proposals which are not yet law, but what our government has in store for us car lovers, 2026 to 2030, and also it includes the digital ID. My views on it, what I think about it, what I think they're going to do, and yeah, watch the video. So I've been compiling some notes, so I'm going to read from it and let you know my thoughts as I go. So from 2026 onwards, the government plans to roll out new laws that could completely reshape how we drive, what we pay, and even who's responsible when things go wrong. I've covered a similar video to this. I may put the link up here. In this video, we're breaking down every confirmed and proposed change, from self-driving car legislation to congestion charge hikes, new driving tech, and even potential drink drive law reforms. So let's have a look. So first up, the Automated Vehicles Act of 2024, which officially became law after receiving royal assent in May 24. This act lays the legal groundwork for self-driving vehicles to operate on UK roads starting from 2026, once safety and regulatory tests have been passed. According to the Department of Transport, the UK aims to be a world leader in safe self-driving technology, allowing vehicles to take over full driving control in certain conditions. Under this law, cars with authorised automated systems will be allowed to drive themselves, with vehicle, not the human occupant, legally responsible for driving related incidents which the system has done itself. The car has done it, not the driver, because you are the user. So that tells me the plan for us to not own our own vehicles it is in the pipeline, because if the vehicle is responsible and not the user, then we're not going to be the owner, are we? So that means if the car is driving itself and runs a red light, that you would, as the user sitting as a passenger, would not be prosecuted. The company behind the system could be. This is a massive shift in road liability and marks the UK's first real step towards everyday autonomous travel. So the source for that is the Department for Transport Automated Vehicles Act 2024 review. Okay, so in the next section, what we're looking at, Automated Passenger Services, APS. With the same framework as the Automated Passenger Service Permitting Scheme, which the government consulted on through late 2024. This will allow self-driving taxis, minibuses and shuttles to operate legally under strict safety and insurance permits. So we've got locally now, we've got bus drivers all on strike over pay. So the plan is, obviously, it's going to be self-driving buses, so that's not looking good for the bus drivers. The Department for Transport says pilot services could begin as early as spring 2026, with full rollout of the permitting system expected in late 2027. So don't be surprised if by 2027 you see driverless taxis, pods, or autonomous shuttle buses operating in select UK cities. Source of that is the DfT Consultation on Automated Passenger Services 2024. All right, next section, legal reforms and self-driving cars. Okay, so the Law Commission for England and Wales, along with the Scottish Law Commission, has been advising on how legal responsibilities should change when a car drives itself. Their recommendations is that when a self-driving feature is active, the human becomes a user in charge rather than a driver. That means you can't be fined for something the automated system did, like speeding or misjudging a turn. But you still have duties such as ensuring the vehicle is roadworthy and insured. These recommendations haven't yet been written fully into law, but they are expected to be adopted as part of a wider reforms tied to the 2024 Act. The source of this is the Law Commission report on automated vehicles again. Okay, so Section 4, London congestion charges. The Transport for London, the TfL, has proposed raising congestion charges from £15 to £18 per day starting from January 2026. That's a 20% increase, and the bigger change is that electric vehicles could soon lose their discount or exemption. TfL says this is part of an aligning scheme with London's wider climate goals and helping fund public transport improvements. If improved, this would be the first major overhaul of the charge since 2021. So the source of that is the TfL proposed changes to congestion charge 2025. Here's Section 5, Police Driving and Enforcement Updates. So from July 2025, amendments to the Road Traffic Act will come into force to update police driver training standards, setting minimum instructor to officer ratios to align with pursuit and response driving rules with modern vehicle performance. Well, I've said for ages that I think the highway code needs updating with the stopping distances, because cars' brakes now are much better than when the highway code was written. The stopping distances are out of date, but this goes into more to how they pursue potential whatever they're pursuing. The aims to ensure police drivers are better protected legally when responding to emergencies at speed. So the source of this is the Home Office announcement on police driving standards 2025. So next section, possible future proposals. So we look at proposals that are being put on the table and debated, and it may not happen. So they're not sort of locked in yet, so don't worry too much. Here we go, digital driving licenses. Okay, so I'm just going to read through all this, and then I'm going to let you know my thoughts on this whole digital ID thing. On the headline ideas of introducing of digital driving license, the DVLA has said it's working toward a full digital license integrated by around 2030. So Starmer recently announced the digital ID, and how long have they got? They've been a year and a half in office, so they got 2.5 years left, so roughly by nearly 2030. So they're going to be a bit late, DVLA, rolling this one out. This could allow you to carry your driving license securely on your phone or link it to in-car systems for verification. There you go. You could be locked out your own car, rather than relying solely on a physical card. So the source for that is the government, it's gov.uk, the DVLA Future Licensing Strategy 2025. Other possible law changes. Other proposals under discussion including lower the drink driving limit in England and Wales to match Scotland's stricter standards. That's 22 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath, and more frequent eyesight and medical checks for older drivers and those with certain conditions. So the source for that is Parliamentary Discussion Papers 2025 and the DVLA review proposals. There's also talk of new AI camera systems to detect mobile phone use and seatbelt offences automatically. I've also done a video on this as well. It's in, maybe put a link up here. Some of these are already being trialled in Devon and Cornwall and could expand across the UK in coming years. The source for that is National Highways Pilot Report 2024. Okay, here we go. Global digital ID systems, what the UK can learn. Digital licenses are just one part of a broader move towards digital identification. Something many countries have already adopted, and this was quite interesting doing a search on how many countries that already do have it in place. So looking at global examples, we can help see what the UK might expect when it rolls out its own system. Probably that, you expect that. Anyway, Estonia. Estonia is the gold standard. Every citizen has a mandatory eID card, which can also be used via mobile or smart ID apps. Estonians use their IDs for voting, healthcare, taxes, signing contracts, and even vehicle management. Almost everything is online. So the source for that is a biometric update 2025. Next country, India. India's Aadhaar is the largest digital ID system in the world. I thought that would be China, but it's not. Covering over 1.3 billion people. It uses fingerprints, iris scans, and facial recognition. Citizens use it for welfare payments, banking, tax filing, and even SIM card verification. It's incredibly powerful, but privacy and security concerns remain significant. Yes, we'll talk about that in a minute. Here we go. Singapore. SingPass lets residents log into hundreds of government and private sector websites. So the private sector is going to be heavily controlling this as well, forcing us to use the app. From renewing passports to signing contracts online. It's integrated with Corp Pass for business. Source for that is myprivacy.blog 2025. So next up we have Denmark. Denmark replaced its old ID NemID system with MitID, a universal logging for citizens accessing government, banking and tax services. It is highly secure and widely adopted. Sweden. Sweden's banking ID is a private system approved by the government. Citizens use it for banking, government portals, healthcare, and more. Around 95% of adults use it daily. The source for that is IB Times UK 2025. Next up we have Italy. Has the SPID and the electronic ID card CIE used for online government services and in some cases private utility access. The card can function physically and digitally. Source for that is NoBid Consortium 2024. Spain, the DNI Electronico or EDNI is a smart ID card. The new MIDNI smartphone app lets citizens identify themselves and sign documents from their phones. The source is Euronews 2025. Next country, Norway. Norway has a national EID gateway connecting citizens to most public and financial services. It's widely trusted and integrated with banks and telecoms. Source for that is NoBid Consortium 2024. So our next country up is Switzerland. It's approved EID law in 2025, so this year. The digital ID is voluntary and will let residents verify themselves online without private services. Rollout is expected in 2026 and 2027. The source of this is the Times and it's 2025. So it's recent that. So they haven't got it yet, but it's going to be rolled out 26, 27. Poland now is the My Obi Wattle app. Stores your ID card, driving license, vehicle details and even penalty points. It's accepted by police and public offices. Source for this is The Guardian 2025. Next country is Costa Rica. In 2025, Costa Rica launched its digital national ID card, recognized by banks, telecoms and government agencies. So the source for this is Irregular Forensics 2025. And the next up we all know about is China. China's National Online Identity Authentication Service, sometimes called the Network Number, uses biometrics to verify citizens for online government and commercial services. So the source for this is Irregular Forensics 2025. And then this is the last country I can find that has it is Nigeria. Nigeria's National Identity Management System, the NIN, links citizens to banking, tax, telecoms and passports. It's part of the World Bank's ID4D initiative to help develop nations create secure digital ID systems. Source for that is Think Digital Partners 2025. So, lessons for the UK and my thoughts as well. Trust and privacy matters. Well, do we trust our government with all them details in one place? They did an analysis of those countries of which ones trust their governments the most, and at the top was South Korea and Denmark, who trust their government the most. If you're from those countries, let me know what if you think, if you trust your government or not, down in the comments. So yeah, oh yes, Estonia as well. They apparently trust their government as well. Integration is key. The more services a digital ID connects to, banking, healthcare, taxes and even vehicle registration and your driving license, the more useful it becomes. Well, that's how they're selling it to us, because it's going to be this app that contains everything. For hackers, they're rubbing their hands together in glee. Unless they can come up with a way. Now, this is just my own thoughts and being pragmatic about it. if you're familiar with blockchain and cryptocurrencies and things, it's basically all these cryptocurrencies are like Bitcoin, for example, one big ledger of everything that's ever done on the Bitcoin blockchain. And it's verified by, as far as my unlimited understanding, by the miners. And if there's a discrepancy and all the miners don't agree, then that transaction doesn't happen on the blockchain. So it appears that this digital rollout of these digital IDs is global, and they want every country to have it. And that kind of tells me, and listening to some of the speeches that come up in the World Economic Forum, is tokenization of everything. So everything's on the blockchain, absolutely everything you can think of. Everything you buy, every bit of data online, everything's on the verifiable on a blockchain ledger. So if your ID here was hacked, so the duplicate here, and the duplicate went and say got a bank loan in your name, then this is just me thinking out loud. If you recognize something's wrong and report it instantly in the app, or even AI recognizes something's wrong, it puts something, a bit of code in here that automatically makes whatever this cloned one does defunct. So if they move then to a cashless society like CBDCs and it's programmable money, the money will stop working. It's useless to them. They can't use it because this cloned identity doesn't have the encrypted bit of code that your proper identity has that's been installed. So you then may not be liable for anything that this one ever does, other than they've got your name and address and know where you live, which is a problem. But if it's doing on a mass scale, which it is, they're not bothered about where you live. They're more bothered about using it for nefarious purposes. But if they start storing all your assets in your IDs and they know about that, then maybe they would come beating down the door. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not for this digital ID, and I believe we've got over 2 million now signatures. I signed it because I don't want it. I think it's open to fraud, and I don't actually trust the government not to protect our details well enough. I don't know how they're going to combat that, and I think there's anyway, without going too political and I don't want it to go all dystopian, because you can find out from other videos how it could be used against us, and I'm totally against that. So anyway, back to this. Integration is key. The more service and digital ID that connects to it, banking, healthcare, I've said this before, but it's going to be a phased rollout. Now, the dust is all up in the air at the moment and people are angry over it. And they're not going to roll it out yet. They do things slowly, in phased, slow rollouts, when the dust has settled and people have moved on and thinking about other things. And there'll be something else they put out there that distracts us from it. And if you think, I'm not going to do it, I haven't got a smartphone, they're not getting my details, they already have it. I mean, if you have a passport, if you have a driving license, if you have a national insurance number, they have all your details. If you've ever traveled through an airport and they've done usually biometrics on a scan, your face, your fingerprints, they've already got it on the system. Which leads me to, if you say, well, I haven't got a smartphone, I've got a dumb phone, I haven't got a phone at all. Well, it's a gradual creep, and they will wait till the older generations are no longer with us, till the newer generations come along, they're all got the smartphones. And the onboarding will be simple. It will be, the app will be there on your next major software update on your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever phone it is. When they do a software update, it'll be hardwired that you can't get rid of, and then it'll be automatically loaded up. You won't have to load it up. And you think, well, where have they got the information from? Well, it'll be something as simple as your little checkbox that you ticked that says that you know, you don't need to enter these details anymore. They can be stored, and then boom, straight away stored on your digital ID. I think that's how they're going to do it. And for a lot of these services, like software updates and things, if you don't tick the box, you don't get the update. As simple as that. You have to tick the box if you want the update. And it's going to get to the point where you're outside of society, where you can't go and pick up a prescription without your ID. They're going to force our hand to do it. Even down to, you know, shopping. If you noticed, Tesco's and all the supermarkets are having less human tills and more self-service tills, where they're scanning your face and scanning all the items that go through. So they've only got to ask for your digital ID, and then you can proceed with your purchases. Our only hope is for a legal framework to prevent it from happening. That's what I think. Because simply just not complying, it won't work. Because it will work for a bit, but if they're hell-bent on rolling it out throughout the world, and there will be exceptions to some countries, but even then, you might see wars erupt over it. So it forces compliance. Let me know if I'm wrong down in the comments. I might be way off just with my thoughts and opinions, but I think they're going to make onboarding so simple that you can do it without even thinking about it, just as a simple tick box on the next time you update your driving license. And if you don't tick it, it won't update your license, or it'll update your passport. Again, won't update your passport unless you tick the box. So I think that's how they're going to do it. And yeah, anyway, what else does it say here? Security must be top notch. Well, it's got to be the best, basically. But at the end of the day, it's all stored on a server somewhere. So is it all going to be stored on multiple servers behind firewalls and encryption? I would hope so. It'd make it harder. Certain people, it's going to stand to make a lot of money out of this. And it's, you know, are they going to safeguard our data, or are they going to actually actively sell it on? So I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Early real-world value drives adoption. Estonia's system succeeded because people could immediately see benefits in everyday tasks. The UK will need similar quick wins to gain trust and uptake. Well, we don't trust this government, do we? So, you know, by 2030, the UK aims to have a transport system that is smarter, greener, and more digital. Self-driving vehicles could be on every major road. The congestion charge could evolve into a full pay-per-miles system, which I've covered before in another video. Paper licenses might disappear completely. Again, it's going to be over time, so the older generations are no longer with us, so they will be more used to the whole digital era. But as always, laws evolve, so yeah, watch this space. Let's see what happens. We're living in very, let's say, interesting times. Try not to let it worry you, but it's hard doing that. But yeah, if you want to support me, please subscribe, please like the video, share the video, and please comment. And I'll be back to you soon with some more footage. But try and stay happy, keep smiling, keep laughing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.